By now, you've probably heard the MAGA crowd is diving headfirst into medical madness. Let's take a look.
The fact that they sabotage early treatment. I mean, truthfully, I was working with Novartis. They were all excited about trials on hydroxychloroquine. That just ended. And my conversations is just, radio silence after the end of April. It's like somebody turned a switch going, we're not looking at early treatment. Then they went and sabotaged, ivermectin. You're not a horse. I mean, why did they do it? Well, if you had an effective therapy, you can't get an emergency use authorization on a vaccine. Okay, again, this was corrupt. This was sinister, and hundreds of thousands of people. Doctors have said this. I'm not a doctor. Probably lost their lives lacking early treatment. So people need to understand that. That's what we need to hold people accountable to. And we have to lay out that reality because it's an awful reality.
Ah, yes, Ron Johnson, a man of science, telling you what you should have taken during the COVID pandemic to get better. Ivermectin, the horse dewormer, and hydroxychloroquine. They're not good for you. Google it. Do a little bit of research. But he's got the conspiracy and he's gone with it. And there's more.
This phrase, trust the experts, it's not a thing. It certainly is not a feature of democracy. It's not a feature of science. In science, you don't trust the experts. Never. And experts have their own prejudices, they have their own biases, and their own ambitions, et cetera. And so it's not, trusting the experts is not a feature of science. It's not a feature of democracy. It's a feature of religion and totalitarianism. But it's not something we do.
Ah, yes, RFK Jr. He says, don't trust the experts. They're out to get you. They're all part of the deep state. They all have their own self-interest, regardless of the fact that these people have studied their whole lives getting ready for a pandemic. But you shouldn't trust them. You should trust RFK Jr. because he's going to be Trump's pick for Health and Human Services. We are screwed.
I think probably everybody in this group has lost somebody that they either know or friends with or family, possibly from the vaccine, that were perfectly healthy. And that's all he said, listen, I'm not against anything. I just want to make sure we go by the science and do what's right and not force something on people that they don't need to take. And it was a breath of fresh air because I'm on the health committee. I went through all those hearings with Fauci and all the things that went on with gain of function. And it's good to hear somebody talk, hey, let's just do what the science tells us and don't invent the wheel. The wheel's already been invented, so let's just go by what we know works.
Okay, now my head is spinning. Blah, 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 blah. That's Tommy Tuberville saying that we should listen to experts because we should follow the science. And in following the science, he's saying the vaccines were not good for us. They're bad for us. The COVID vaccines and other vaccines are bad for us. So totally confused. I don't know which one it is, but let's watch more.
One thing that Tommy Tuberville said that should be a key to exactly what RFK Jr. is going to do is he said, I just talked to RFK Jr. And we talked about how do we really need all these vaccines? That tells you everything about what RFK Jr. is about to do. He is about to do everything he can to destroy the vaccine program in this country. And I think it is a dangerous time to be a child in the United States of America.
And that's Dr. Paul Offit summing it all up for us. It's a dangerous time when you let people like Tommy Tuberville and RFK Jr. and Ron Johnson lead the way towards health and human services in America. We are screwed. RFK Jr. doesn't like vaccines. He's an anti-vaxxer. We all know that. Now, I'm not here to say that vaccines have not caused damage, but I am here to say that overall, vaccines have helped us get rid of polio, measles, even COVID. There was a lot of use for vaccines. And the way you got to look at it, I have a doctor friend of mine who was talking about some of the reactions people have or some of the health issues that come from certain vaccines. He was saying it's kind of like, think about peanuts and the peanut allergies that people have. Many people in the world can live without those peanut allergies, but some people get affected by the peanut allergies, and therefore they are the ones who avoid peanuts. Now, with vaccines, similarly, there's going to be a small percentage of people that are going to be affected in a negative way by certain vaccines. However, overall, for the general health population, it's a good thing to have vaccines. We've seen it. We are the proof. We are the proof. We got rid of polio. We got through COVID. As much as people are anti-vaxxers, we got through COVID. It helped deal with COVID. And here we are now having this group of MAGA in office now who want to get rid of all of the vaccines, and they just want to come up with mumbo jumbo. They say, don't listen to the experts. Don't listen to the experts? What kind of advice is that? These are people that spend their whole lives getting ready for a pandemic. People that spend their whole lives getting ready to help you. It's like me saying, like, I got car trouble, but I'm not going to the mechanic. I'm going to go to Ron Johnson. I'm going to RFK Jr. I'm going to go to these bozos, Tuberville, Tommy Tuberville. We are screwed. We are screwed because and the funny thing is, they are saying don't trust the experts because the experts have an agenda, when in reality, RFK Jr. has an agenda. His agenda is to get rid of vaccines in this country. His agenda is to kind of break things up. Now, it's one thing to say, oh, they're going to break things up and do good with it. But the fact is, science, if you have a doctor friend, just ask your doctor friend. Go to your own internist and ask them, say, are vaccines good or bad? Ask them. Don't trust me. Listen to your own doctor. See what your own doctor says. Do they have a political agenda? Are they part of the deep state? I don't think so. But according to these people, that's what they think they're dealing with, and that is what is causing them to want to get rid of these vaccines and lead us into I don't know what. I don't know where we're headed. It's not looking good, people. It's not looking good. I got my flu vaccine, by the way, and so far, no side effects, except before I got the flu vaccine, I had a full head of hair. And now, what happened? Look at that. No, the truth is, I'm fine. And I got all of those COVID vaccines. I'm fine. And I think if you look at the statistics, most people that get vaccines are fine. And it's actually good for society to have vaccines. But MAGA is trying to instill the conspiracy theories. Ron Johnson, RFK Jr., all of them are all about, oh, there was some deep state thing. Dr. Fauci, he did this to get, I don't know what. I don't know if Dr. Fauci has an island now. I don't think so. I think he was just some guy. Can you imagine being Dr. Fauci? You spend 40 years of your life getting ready for a pandemic, and it comes, and you go, I got the solution. This is what you got to do. And everyone goes, you know what? You're an idiot. You don't know. Oh, yeah. Right? They call him out on things. They go, why did you tell us to wear masks? First you said don't wear masks, then you said wear masks. He goes, well, originally we didn't have enough masks, so we're trying to keep it for the medical personnel. And then later on, we had masks, so we said wear the masks. And it was a pandemic. We were in mid-flight. There was turbulence. It's basically like having turbulence and trying to deal with it. And the people are criticizing you. They're trying to use science to deal with this. And they're saying the best thing we can do is to get this vaccine. By the way, Donald Trump was president when we got the vaccine. So what's with all the 180s? They keep switching sides and switching their theories. We're screwed, people. We're screwed. I keep coming back to that conclusion. We are screwed. MAGA's going to make sure we get screwed. Children are not going to be safe, like the doctor said. There's going to be a lot more possibly spreading of things like measles and polio and who knows what else. Oh my God, what happened? Listen, guys, I'm a comedian. I'm Maz Jobrani. I have a special on YouTube. It's called The Birds and the Bees. It's free. Check it out. If you like it, tell your friends. Leave a comment. Tell me where you found me on the comments. If you don't like it, keep it to yourselves.